What is going on, guys? We have got another massive SBC. It is Ginola Triple Threat. 16 different SBCs. We've got 60 days to get this 5-star in our team. He is left mid, cam, striker, left wing. He is definitely one of these ones that you could consider straight away. 85 on the minimum. Wow, okay. So this is going to be a very expensive one. We have got 2 85s, 2 team of the weeks needed. 85 team of the week, 86, 86, 86 team of the week, 87, 87, 87, 88, 89, 89, 89, 90, 90. Wow. So that SBC is currently coming in at 2.86 million. Ouch, that's a big cost. What is he on the market? I mean, he's about the same. So in terms of pricing, I've got no problem with that. He is a fantastic striker. Left mid, striker, wherever you want to put him, he is always brilliant. Hunter on him is going to give him, what is it, 98, 94. It's a brilliant card. Genuinely, this is... It's one of them cards that comes along. Eusebio, Mbappe, Zidane, Henry, the whole shebang. He is going to be worth it. So we've got to figure out how do we get all of these done, because we've got 60 days, so that takes us, I wonder if the SBC tells us that actually, so it should tell us, it takes us to the 5th of the 1st, so what, the 1st of May, so we've got Foot Birthday hopefully coming next, or at least it should be relatively soon, so say we got this week, that would take us into the first week of March, then we've got, say, 2 weeks for Foot Birthday. Could it be Team of the Season time? I don't remember when we got the last one, but that potentially, depending on how this works, could be Team of the Season. Maybe. I reckon it's either going to be end of community or it's going to be just before it starts, because that would be the EA sort of thing. Now, in terms of other SBCs to kind of focus on, I don't know what icons we've still got. We've got Baggio, Cannavaro, Carfu's going soon-ish. Henry, I suppose, but only 14, 15 days. Sauer's there. Obviously, Georgie Best is there. So, really, out of all of the SBCs, I'd say the best player is going to be Ginola out of all of them. In terms of position, he's going to be number 1 on that list. So, where do we start? How do we get a 90 rated SBC? Because, trust me, they are not cheap. So, if I wanted, say we go for gold. Like, gold is normally where I'd base everything off. Okay, wow. So we want to go for the players that you obviously would or could put in. So obviously we're trying to stay away from anybody that is a little bit more expensive than the norm. God, even the golds are not going to do it, to be honest. You could go Kev. Kev's definitely up there. I don't know how much Bonmati is actually. Forward, say 48. What's that in comparison? Oh, it's okay. So it's about right. So Bonmati can go in. Then we potentially could go for a couple of 89s potentially. Would that be enough? Hergerberg. So that would be a 90. Could we chuck in like another one? Let's have a look. Because we've got a 91 in there. So that's one gone. Okay, so that is a 90 rated SBC with just the golds. And I was going to say, I've got most of them. So you can tell I've not done an SBC. I've got him there as well. Beautiful. But in terms of kind of, you've got other cards you can use. So if I looked through mine, in terms of cards I could use, Van Basten could be used. A Bernardo Silva definitely could be used. He's not like he's going anywhere. Edison could be. You can get anybody that's tradable. Perlo, it's not like I'm using him. So there is more than just golds, but that is a gold team for a 90. So that's what you've got to make twice. It's definitely not cheap by any means to get that done. I would recommend, whenever looking at these SBCs, try and always go for the highest rated. It's always difficult. No, don't get me wrong. Trying to get a 90 rated team is not easy whatsoever. But what I would focus on is trying to go for these. So say I get an 88 duplicate, but I haven't quite got the 90 ready yet. Depending on how many left, say we've got 1 or 2 players, I might go buy it. If I don't, say if I've got 5 players left, then potentially look at one of the lower ones and bring them forward. Maybe go for, because realistically you're not using any 88s or 87s in this. Unless you're using 91s and 93s, you're going to be using a lot of 89, 90, 91. That's going to be where you'd keep there. So I would then, if I got an 88 duplicate, I'd try and get an 86 or an 87 done. Try to go a little bit more than just the 85s, because what you'll find is as soon as I've done all these 85s, that renders 84s completely useless in this SBC. Now, once you have done all them, say if you've done them anyway and you're going to go in there, the upgrades are going to be more than fine because we should normally have the 83 times 10 to still do. We've got player picks you can do. 82, what we got? 82 upgrades. 7, 4 rare. It's just a 182 upgrade. I feel like that's probably going to be just a lot of 82 or 83s, to be honest. But you have got a lot of upgrades that you can do nonetheless. So it's not as if they're going to be totally wasted. But I would always try and go for the highest SBC possible whenever using duplicates. Naturally, you want to go for the 90s, 89s and keep going down. But like I say, if you've not necessarily finished a team, then don't waste that fodder. Unless you have got a quick sell recovery, then that always can be used. But make sure you are remembering that he is there. Because honestly, I have sometimes forgot. And more than likely have given up like a 90 rated card and just forgot that he was even there. So in terms of getting these cards then, because this is going to be a hell of a grind, it is the same as always. Whenever grinding these out, we're going to be utilising everything in our power to go. Because like I say, when we look at these Ginolas, so if we look at the 85, I go normally with an 85, I would look 83, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're kind of the cards I would range. I'd try and not use as many 87s and 88s as possible because they're going to be for the higher rated, and I try not to go lower than the 83 because you're just going to end up having to overcompensate on 85s and 86s. So I would always try and stick to at least a 3 budget between them. So really what I'm looking at is 84, 5, 6 for the 85s, 85, 6, 7 for the 86s, and you can kind of do the math there. Obviously with the 90s, like we say, 89, 90, 91, I try and stick around there if possible. Whoever's in the club normally goes for something like this, but when it comes to then the 83s and 82s, they can be going into the upgrades. So what I would be looking at, maybe not the crafting, I didn't even know it had so little left, but that one would be a great one for the objective as well because you are getting more bang for your buck. But now I'd probably be looking at player picks. I'd be interested in these 82 upgrades. I'm not feeling it massively. I just think one upgrade is nice, but it's never always the greatest if I'm being brutal. So what do we need? We needed 4 rares as well. 4 rares is, it just comes down to now where we've seen the picks be so low. I'm kind of expecting most of these SBCs to be similar. So that would be one of them. I guarantee a lot of these cards will be 83 as well. Watch me get a fantasy foot now, but I think I've got one. I've had Aspas so far, so it's very unlikely to happen. So if you are obviously grinding them out, I would be trying to do as much League SBC. Where is it? We've got the 82 rare. Yeah, so it's gold, Spanish, that's a good shout. Striker. Morata, by any chance, 83. So they're going to be if you've got fodder. I personally would go for the player picks personally, but I have managed to kind of keep a few packs as well. So realistically, the 83 times 10 is going to be a perfect one for this. Oh wow, what's he, 85? It's Gulaski, isn't it? I don't even remember the rating of him. 84. Yikes. So, if your team's looking like this, then I have the place for you. Head over to U7Buy for all your coin needs. They're cheap, fast, and reliable, but make sure to use JT11 at the checkout for 6% off all of your coin orders. With these SBCs, I'd just be kind of trying to grind them round. Naturally, if you are doing game modes, doing the rivals, doing the champs, doing the squad battles, if you are still playing them, I would say definitely doing the cup's going to be a big one, trying to get as many objectives done as possible, because you want to get the cards as quick as possible. And I could sit here and say, do League SBC till your ears start getting sore. I don't know why that would be, but that is going to take a long time. Like it's going to be rare to get a 90 rated SBC off League SBC. I'd love to sit here and say, if you do it for 24 hours for the next 60 days, you could do it. You probably get one of them done. Like it's very difficult. And normally what you're kind of hoping for is being able to do, or at least get, some of the players from here. So if you look at the fantasies, we're looking at a lot of these, like 88 rated for a 45 card. He's going to be there. You're going to be able to pack him. You've obviously got 86s, 87s that are cheap as well. They are what's going to help on top of everything. And maybe even if you do get a cheeky 90 rated card from it, it's possible, but that's kind of what we're looking for here. Alongside, we are trying to obviously pack somebody decent, but realistically, it's going to be the luck of the draw. So as much as League SBC is a great way of doing it, it will be needed to mixed with stuff as well. You cannot just do League SBC. It physically will not work to just do that on its own. You've got to then be looking at the 83 times 10. You've got to be looking at the player picks, the upgrades, objectives that come out, and 60 days is more than enough to get it done. You should be able to get that done twice over, especially when Mbappe was like 4 million for 30, 40 days. It should be really easy to get him done if you are just doing him. And that's the big thing with these SBCs. It's not only just doing that card. That is really all you can do. If you haven't, like, say if I do half of the SBC today, I do the 90, all the 90s, all the 89s, maybe you can kind of relax a little bit. But if I get 30 days through and I've still not done any 90s and I've done all of the 85 and 86s, you've then got to grind through a little bit more. No double walkout. So you've got to really kind of play it to your strengths of what have you got in the club right now? What can you give up and see where you can go? Because you want to get it done as quick as possible. What on earth is this? Is that meant to be packs for you? Have they broken that as well? I don't know if we've got any more promo packs. I don't even know if any of them are different. I kind of liked when they were different colour packs, because then at least I know what's for what. We've got just pretty much the same amount of promo packs going on. So if they are, again, worth it, if you think they are, personally, I would only ever go for the big ones, and that's really about it. I don't really tend to do too many paid packs anymore, as really now you can grind out the game. So if I was going for a basic, like this is, I haven't got anything in the club, I'm kind of just starting from scratch, he's the only one I want to get done, then realistically this is the best way to start. First and foremost, get the upgrades done. Daily gold, daily silver, daily bronze. Doesn't cost you that much. You get the daily bronze and silvers done. That is going to be 2 times each. It will get you halfway there for the golds. The golds we could do 4 times. That's going to give you 44 players, 4 rare, 40 common. So that is number 1, because that gives us a base to go off somewhere, especially if you have no cards. Then I'd be taking them all into the prime mixed. This is, if you don't have coins, you don't have clubs, this, I don't think this is going to be the only way that you can do it. But grind these out. League 1, 6 players from 1 club, the rest Eredivisie. Job done. Make sure you are selling both of these packs, everything in it. If it doesn't sell, discard it. If it's a player, it will sell at minimum, 100% of the time. So then get them 2 done. So then obviously you have Bundesliga, Serie A. I mix them between the 2, just like the Prem and La Liga. So the first one, I'll do 5 Bundesliga, 6 Serie A. Second time round, 6 Bundesliga, 5 Serie A. Exactly the same for the Prem, 5 Prem, 6 La Liga, yada yada. With obviously the Lib and Sud, does require a little bit more of a club. For instance, I finished this yesterday, so I doubt I haven't got Cavani and Fernandez back. They are the 2 that I use. So I will use these 2 every single time I will buy them. There are 79 each. It gives you a good bump up on that 74 rated squad, meaning any Boca Junior, any River Plate players you've got can also go into upgrades. So I've personally put a lot of them into upgrades, so we should be fine with them. Everybody else needs to be in this team. So any Boca Junior and River Plate can go into upgrade packs as well. I will always use Cavani and also Fernandez. It allows me to lower down the SBC much, much better than any of the 75s. And that's done. So obviously you keep this side because it's all untradeable, plus the Prime Gold Players Pack. Sell these sides. That's just going to give you some more coins just to put back into this, because your whole point is to rotate this. I don't think we got the 83 player picks again, which is a shame because they were really good as well. No, they haven't come back. Maybe they come back tomorrow. Make sure you're doing them. Anything that's daily, try and do. So then we have the 83 times 10. This is going to be where it gets a little bit trickier because you've obviously got to have a team of the week. So if you are lucky enough to be able to get it from the premium mixed, perfect, whack it into there. If obviously you do need another one, I would be looking at any duplicates, so off leagues, no Prem, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, Ligue 1, Eredivisie to some extent, but you can use silver and bronze and it's more than fine. And then obviously Lib and Suds will keep in your club. Everything else, Portuguese, MLS, any of the women's league, all go into this 80 plus player pick. So if I was looking through my club right now, you could argue the 82 upgrade. I'm going to stick with the player pick personally. I just think it is better. So if I'm looking through the club, I see one there. We've obviously got MLS women. We've got the Czech League. And then we've got, just keep cycling through because you will use a lot of these players. And trust me, if you kind of think, oh, I'll use a Prem, I've got loads of them. The amount of times you do it, you realize that they do go down pretty quickly. And I think we get into Liga F, that should be everybody. No, it's not. Brilliant. If we've got one more on there, we're going to go with... It's got to be another off-league somewhere. I have used quite a few. We'll use another rare just to get it out of the way. But that's an off-league upgrade. Perfect. I would use it when I'm getting duplicates. And there we go. We get one more pack. Sometimes you get informs and fantasy foots. It's the luck of the draw. As long as I get a good rating, that's always perfect. She can then be another one that goes into the 83 times 10. Because I'm not looking at Ginola, them sort of reigns, 83s will always go into upgrades. You can obviously do the winter wildcard and all of that. If you say have done the 85 and 86s, this would be good to potentially get some big pulls to be able to put back in if they are not. If they are a good player, then Bob's your uncle. You've got a nice one even better. So that is somewhere where I'd go, but I'd be making sure I'm trying to do as many 83 times 10s as possible. We do have the 83 player pick, does require 185 and 284s, but realistically that is absolutely fine. That's not going to break the bank on Ginola, but it allows you to do the 83 times 10, which could give you something good. Whether you do get anything, like you just saw, it was a max of 84. But if I do manage to get a couple of walkouts, a few walkouts, that's going to be a lot more of a progress on Ginola than just doing the league upgrades. Don't get me wrong, you could probably do half of Ginola with league upgrades, but it would take a lot of luck, a lot of grinding, and potentially not go in as quick as you would like. So then I would be mixing in objectives, I'd be mixing in rewards. That is kind of putting it all full circle. And even then you've got players that you could put in as well. You look at a lot of these players, they're really not that expensive. Like we've got an 84 with one team of the week for what, an 87 rated player. If I'm not too fussed about him, that's got to be cheaper to get an 87 than spending coins. You've got 88s. 88's a bit more expensive. You've got... I don't get how Bowen's that expensive. That's one I would stay away from. But you've got Undav. You've obviously got De Jong today at an 88. How much is he? 83 in a team of the week. It's going to be really cheap for an 88. You've even got Lewandowski to 92 if you are struggling. That's going to be a great one for the 90 rated SBC if you don't want him in your team. So that's going to be a perfect one. And obviously more players to come out and also more upgrades. And I would just keep rinse and repeating. That's going to be the best way to really get him in. And hopefully you have got stuff to put in already. He's going to be a top player. He's absolutely incredible in game, and it's why he's still about 3 million coins already. So let me know down below if you are going to complete him. Make sure you like and subscribe on this, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.